Everybody keeps asking if the SouthCoast Massachusetts housing market is about to crash. Meanwhile, decent houses in Dartmouth are still getting multiple offers, and waterfront listings disappear every spring like somebody hit a button. So no, that's not what I'm seeing. Now, has the market changed? Yeah, absolutely. But changed and crashed are two completely different conversations. And honestly, a lot of people online keep talking about the housing market like it's one giant national market. It's not. The South Coast behaves differently than Boston. Boston behaves differently than Florida. Florida behaves differently than Texas. And even around here, Dartmouth feels different than New Bedford. Mattapoisett behaves differently than Fall River. Westport's different than Fairhaven. Micro markets matter way more now. So if you are thinking about buying, selling, investing, or moving anywhere around the South Coast in 2026, I want to walk you through what I'm actually seeing on the ground, because the headlines online are making people confused as hell. The first thing shaping this market, inventory feels tight. That's the biggest thing. People locked into low interest rates do not want to move. And honestly, I don't blame them. If somebody bought a house with a 2.9% mortgage a few years ago, current rate looks offensive. I've had homeowners tell me, we were thinking about moving, then we looked at the rates and decided we suddenly loved our kitchen again. That's happening everywhere. So fewer people are listing homes, which keeps inventory tighter than people expect, especially for houses priced well. And when good homes hit the market around here, buyers still move fast, particularly in coastal towns of Dartmouth, Mattapoisett, Westport, parts of Fairhaven, and New Bedford. Anything near water, walkability, village areas, or coastal neighborhood still get attention immediately. Now, overpriced homes, different story. This is where sellers are struggling a little in 2026. The market got people spoiled for a while. Some sellers still think they can throw any number onto a listing and buyers will start fist fighting in the driveway. That era cooled off. Buyers got smarter and honestly more cautious. If a house feels overpriced now, buyers hesitate fast. They sit back, watch price reductions, wait longer, especially if the home needs updates, because renovation costs scare people way more now too. I had buyers walk into houses recently and say, we love it, but I don't want to spend another $140,000 after closing. That mindset is becoming common. Now, one thing still helping the South Coast a lot, people from higher price markets keep discovering this area. That hasn't stopped. Buyers from Greater Boston still come down here and think, wait, I can get this near the water for that price? And compared to a lot of Eastern Massachusetts, yeah, the South Coast can still look attractive financially, especially for remote workers. Remote work changed this area permanently. 5 years ago, people cared way more about commute distance. Now, buyers prioritize lifestyle harder. They want space, water nearby, less traffic, smaller communities, more breathing room. And honestly, that shift helped towns around here massively. But there's another side to that too. Local buyers feel squeezed sometimes, especially younger buyers. Because when outside buyers enter smaller coastal markets with larger budgets, prices move differently. That tension is real around here. You hear it constantly. Now let's talk about waterfront property, because this category basically lives in its own universe. Waterfront homes around the South Coast still hold attention no matter what the broader market does. Even when rates rise, even when buyers slow down, people still chase water, always. The difference now is buyers are asking more questions before jumping in. Flood insurance, maintenance costs, erosion, septic systems, storm exposure. People are paying attention more carefully now. And honestly, they should. The emotional, oh my gosh, water view, buy it now, energy slowed down a little from peak market craziness. Now, another thing I'm noticing in 2026, move-in ready homes perform way better than homes needing major work. That gap widened. People feel exhausted already. Life's expensive. Contractors are expensive. Material costs still annoy everybody. So turnkey homes get attention fast. Homes needing heavy updates, different story. Those buyers negotiate harder now. And then there's new construction. People ask me about this constantly around Dartmouth and surrounding towns. New construction still gets attention because buyers love the lower maintenance aspect. But pricing surprises people fast, especially once upgrades start stacking up. Everybody walks into model homes confident until they start adding options, and suddenly the final number looks like medical debt. That part humbles people quickly. Now, if I had to summarize the 2026 South Coast market in one sentence, it feels more balanced than the insanity we saw a few years ago. But balance does not mean cheap. That's the mistake people make. Homes are still expensive compared to what locals were used to historically. Rates still affect affordability heavily, but buyers are adapting. Sellers are adapting. The frenzy cooled off a little, and honestly, that's healthier long term. Now, if you're waiting for some giant market collapse where beautiful coastal homes suddenly become dirt cheap overnight, I probably wouldn't build your entire strategy around that, especially in desirable South Coast towns where inventory stays limited. Lifestyle markets behave differently. People don't just buy these towns for investment reasons. They buy them because they want to live here. That emotional factor matters more than people realize. And honestly, I think the South Coast keeps growing in visibility over the next few years. More people are burned out by crowded, expensive cities. They want slower pace, water nearby, community, space. This area checks a lot of those boxes. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or moving anywhere around the South Coast and want to know what's actually happening in your specific town or neighborhood, send me a message. Because the market on one street can look completely different from the market half a mile away around here. And subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down the best South Coast towns for current lifestyles. Waterfront living, walkability, families, commuters, all of it.